Yes, sir.
Outstanding. How are you this morning?
Just woke up. So,
yeah, yeah. I didn't get up not too long ago myself. So, all right. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I had just about 10 questions or so. I figure, and give you a little time to talk about each one. So that should be pretty good. So whenever you're ready, we can get started.
it's whenever you're ready, boss man.
Alrighty. Well, my name is Bill. I go by Captain Bill on the show. Um, we're on. We have a YouTube podcast here. The Thursday Throwdown, we call it. We're Space Coast Real Elite Wrestling, but we also go by 321 Screw. So I don't know if you checked it out or not, but
I did.
cool, outstanding. Well, my
Also,
first
subscribe.
my first question would be is how'd you get into wrestling?
Uh, always been into wrestling. Since I was, shoot, 4 or 5. A friend of mine I grew up with, in a small town of Kansas, actually, we watched it every Monday night. It was when the, WCW and WWE Monday Night Wars was happening.
Oh yeah,
It was before that. We were flipping back and forth between WCW and WWE at the time.
we did the same thing.
And that's when I really got into it. Then was back then in the Attitude Era.
So just to kind of touch on the Monday Night War subject, since you brought it up, which side did you lean towards back then?
I was always a fan of WWE. I mean, I like WCW because of Ray and Eddie and Dean and Chris, and Hulk Hogan. But other than that, I was always a fan of WWE.
Right on. So, who were your favorite wrestlers growing up?
It was Ray, Eddie, Benoit, and Undertaker.
Nice, nice. Um, let's see. Here we go. Do you currently with your wrestling? Do you have a signature move or finishing move that you use?
Sorry, my youngest son got in the picture. Wanted to get in the picture.
Hey,
Signature moves, no. Finisher moves, it's either uh, I hate to rip off Chris Jericho, but it's either the Code Breaker, the Frog Splash, Top Rope Leg Drop, or one that I just renamed instead of the Texas Clover Leaf. It's the 4-leaf clover, which is the submission hold that I do.
nice, nice. What promotion are you currently with?
Right now, I'm not with any currently. I just wherever I get booked at.
Right.
Like mainly, I started off in Utah about 10 years ago. Actually, it's been 10 years ago. And then I moved down to Mississippi following year, and then I just been stuck. I just been in Mississippi doing promotions in Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, and then I just in the Florida Panhandle.
Oh, right on. So you kind of been all around doing this.
Yeah.
Where did you enjoy doing it, working, doing best? What area?
Anywhere, anywhere,
No, yeah,
anywhere, anywhere that booked me, and the fans love me.
yeah. You haven't noticed though that any one particular place or the fans are a little more into it than
Pensacola, and down here in Port Richey, Florida.
okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with Port Richey. Pensacola, that's home of Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and the Usos.
Yeah, and Usos. Yeah, exactly. So talking about finishing moves, if there was a current wrestler, if there was somebody's finisher that you could kind of take and use as your own, currently, whose would you like to use to take?
It'd probably be Daniel Bryan's.
Daniel Bryan. Yeah,
Yeah,
right on. I got another question for you here. If you could have a dream match against any wrestler, living or dead, who would you want to go against?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Um, it'd probably have to be with Ray.
Rey Mysterio?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that is that kind of the style that that you kind of use his style, when you're in the ring?
I was his, and then Jeff Hardy's, and then but when I broke in, I was actually just getting away from the MMA world.
Okay.
So I mean, I was just getting away from that. Because I got, of course, I got youngins. So and the training was brutal with MMA and it's just brutal with wrestling too. But I mean, I can do 3 or 4 matches in a week and then wake up the following day and play with my kids and not hurt.
Right.
So I mean, I was just getting away from that. So it's more of a strong style / high flying with me.
Okay. So off the top rope kind of stuff, you you feel right at home doing the aerial stuff.
Yeah, I was a daredevil growing up. So
there you go. Well, so you'd be one of those type of guys who would be willing to take the dive off the top of a cage through an announce table.
Yeah, I would do that like that mini Mick Foley.
There you go. So, if you could work for any of the bigger promotions, which one would you like to be involved with?
It's always and still will be WWE.
WWE. What's your thoughts on the new AEW?
I don't. To me, it's going to be like another WCW, WWE Monday Night Wars, but it's going to be Wednesday Night Wars instead.
Yeah.
The difference is that AEW has more of the kind of like the hunger talent that WWE won't sign, because either they're too small or they don't have the charisma or they don't have this that they're looking for. Which I wouldn't mind wrestling for them either. And it's just, I don't know. They're just starting out, so we'll kind of have to see on how it goes from as the years go through. But I mean, they got a good group of talent. They got Cody. They got Dustin. They got Chris. So I mean, I don't see them having an issue over the years. I think it's going to be a really big battle between Vince and all of them and AEW. So
yeah, that's the one thing that Vince has always. He has always kind of been, all about the big guys, those big hulking, ominous, type guys, and but the wrestling nowadays, it's kind of going away from those. It seems like the more popular guys are those mid-sized guys.
Skinny.
Your Seth Rollins, types, and the guys who could go in there and brawl it out, but also come off the top of a rope or do the dives to the outside.
Well, that and then the hardcore matches too that they have. Like I watched a video of a buddy of mine, Darby Allin.
Yeah, he's with AEW.
At the last show, he I don't know him personally. I'm just friends with him on social media. But he works for a company called the Evolve as well too. But I mean, he does some crazy things, and me and him are the same size people.
Right.
I believe I only weigh like a $160, but fans like the hardcore stuff along with the high flying, and it was just back how their ratings in WWE were back in the day because of the hardcore and all that kind of stuff. But when they done away with that, their ratings kind of slowly dropped because they're not, they done away with what the fans like to see.
Right. So and, hopefully, hopefully they will keep going. With giving the fans what they want,
Oh
because
yeah,
it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I grew up like with the old school stuff. I mean, I go back even further, back to the days of NWA. When the Four Horsemen were in their prime, and the Freebirds, and when Sting still wore multicolored face paint and with bleach blonde hair, buzz cut, and of
yeah.
course the Road Warriors were the guys that made me love wrestling. So, but at the same time, the new style, I really enjoy that too. Your Ricochet is one of the guys I really love watching him perform.
He's a good one. Ricochet, Ali's a really good worker too. Um, I mean, WWE's got a bunch of great talent for people that like to see that stuff. I broke in more of it's got to make sense and tell a story.
Exactly. Yeah.
Psychology wise is how I was broken in and stuff. If it doesn't tell a story and it doesn't make sense, why do it?
Right. So, have you mainly been just a singles competitor in your career there, or did
No,
you tag at all?
I did tag. I did tag for a couple of years with a buddy of mine back home in Mississippi because I live in Florida now. In Spring Hill. I did tag with a guy. His name's Steve O'Malley. We were known as the Sons of Ireland, and we were actually ranked the #1 tag team for a couple of years in the state of Mississippi.
Oh, no doubt.
So, but no, I've tagged. I've done singles. The only thing I haven't done, I was maybe a bad guy for like 6 months out of my whole entire career.
Okay. Do you prefer tagging over the singles competition?
To be honest with you, as long as I'm in the ring competing, I don't care if I'm tagging. I don't care if I'm in singles. It's just I'm at home in the ring.
Outstanding. So, well, talking about tag, if you could tag team with anybody, who would you love to be part of a team with?
Ooh, that would have to probably be. That's actually a debate between two different wrestlers. That would either be a debate between Rey Mysterio or the late great Eddie Guerrero.
Oh yeah. Oh Eddie, he lies, he cheats, he steals. He was great though.
Just minus that.
yeah, exactly. So, I know you talked about who some of your favorites are, but if somebody had to, tell you, all right, you got to pick. Who do you consider to be the best ever?
I had a big truck pass by my house. Can you repeat that question again?
Sure. I said, who would you consider to be, in your opinion, who's the best ever? Because, you get a lot of debate. You got some, people are passionate about who they think the best ever. I'm just curious your thoughts. Who would you consider to be just the best all-around in-ring performer? Past or present, just when it comes to, just the total package, in-ring performance, mic skills, the charisma, personality, everything. Who would you say was the premier?
I'm going to have to go with a buddy of mine's favorite wrestler, the greatest of all time, is Ric Flair.
Ric Flair. You know what? I got to agree with you there. I do believe he probably was one of the best. I mean, when it comes to in the ring, on the mic, oh man, he was second to none on the mic.
It's actually a very close race because I was also a Bret Hart fan too. It was a close race between him and Bret. But on mic, I got Ric Flair's a little bit better on the mic than Bret is.
Yeah.
But as far as in-ring competition, the psychology of wrestling, they were both outstanding and phenomenal. But on mic, Ric Flair was just the top of the line, the best that she could ever get.
Oh, yeah. To be the man, you got to beat the man. He says.
Until The Rock came around, and The Rock just like kind of. I always enjoyed The Rock's promos.
Oh yeah, definitely. Some of them, my favorite promo guys were The Rock, Jericho. I think Jericho is great on a mic too.
Yep, Jericho's great when he ran when he actually won the heavyweight title for AEW. What he did after he won was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of the memes, the bubbly.
Exactly. Yeah, the bubbly. You just got to hang on to your title. Don't want to lose your belt. Oh, so right now, the big thing in wrestling is the Fiend. I got to get your opinion. What do you think on the Fiend, that character, and how he's being portrayed and done?
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was actually, it's actually the greatest thing besides Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt is, he's something else. He's got a great just wrestling mind, creative, and he's a good performer, and he just. But when he come back with this whole Firefly Funhouse and then the Fiend, I was like, wow, that's awesome, and I hope they let him just kind of run a little wild with that for a while.
Oh, they are. They're going to, because it's getting more of a reaction. I was wondering when he was going to do it. With the whole, when he brought in, when he was talking about the whole Sister Abigail thing, and stuff is what I was waiting for. And to be honest with you, he actually is doing a phenomenal job with this new character gimmick that he's got going on.
Oh yeah, exactly. The way they do it. Last Monday night when I was watching it, and that whole image of the Fiend standing behind Kane, that moment right before he tagged him, I just thought that was awesome. I dug it.
Yeah, I missed it. I work too much, so I don't get to watch a whole lot of wrestling anymore.
Oh, I'm with you on that sometimes, but thank God for YouTube, and go back and watch highlights. Oh man! So, what do you got coming up here in the future? Where
I got
any promotion, any shows, anything going on?
Yeah, I got a show in back home in Mississippi, October 12th. And then I got one on October 19th in Leesburg for FXE. And then a buddy of mine down here just got me on a show November 2nd and the 30th in the New York and New Jersey area.
Oh, wow.
So.
Yeah, have you, we got over here on the East Coast, we got, one of the bigger ones we got around here is a promotion called ARW, Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah, ran by Alex Reed.
Yeah, Alex Red.
Yep, Alex Red.
Yeah.
He's doing good too.
Yeah, they do. We got a good relationship with Alex. I have on Facebook there. I have a wrestling group in there. It's called Beyond the Squared Circle, and Alex Red is actually one of my admins in the group. So we.
Yeah, I'm part of that group.
Oh, outstanding! That's how. That's how this Thursday show began. Started that group. Had some friends that were in it, and we started talking. Like, let's do a podcast, and we just kind of ran with it, and now we're having fun. We're 9 shows in, and we're hoping we're hoping it keeps going, and things like this is what we have, what we call this indie spotlight, which is what you're part of now. That's definitely one of the things we talked about from the beginning. Everyone talks about the big promotions. It's real easy to talk about WWE and AEW, but to me, it's the indies. Those guys, like yourself, who are down there, doing it and travel all around. You guys are the heart of it, and So we wanted to give you guys your spotlight, and that's why we started this whole thing. And I'm really glad that you're able to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's like I seen something on Facebook the other day. It's like, if you don't have money to go see, the big shows, go to a local indie show.
Absolutely.
For $5-10, you'll get more of a better show than you would going to a live event. And because it's different if when you watch it on TV versus if you go to a live event of WWE or NXT versus if you go to a live event at of an indie show. It's two totally different worlds and two totally different atmospheres that you can experience.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
I mean, even if I don't make it to the big leagues and stuff like that, I'll stay on the indie circuits and wrestle for the indies until I can't wrestle no more.
Right. Oh, I agree. I agree. It's definitely worth going to check it out. And there's promotions that are all over the place too.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere. Florida's one of the hot spots. I know Louisiana is another hot spot with a lot of promotions. There's just a lot of them out there. So Mississippi's another one too. My home where I just moved from. Has a lot of promotions out there that looking up for that area.
Right. So I know you said you don't have a YouTube channel, but they can find your matches of you on YouTube, though, correct?
Yeah, they can. Because I don't always have somebody to sit there and record for me.
Mm-hmm.
To where I can. So the people that I do work always have somebody that they have recording. So I just when I talk to a promoter and they want videos of how I work, I just type in like I said, Sean O'Reilly wrestling, and a bunch of them pop up. One of my favorite ones is when I wrestled Snoop Strikes at ACW for the Cruiserweight title. That was one of my favorite matches that I've done in a while.
Right on. Did you win?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh man. What championships have you held?
I've held tag teams all up and down Mississippi. I've held the company that I'm going back for, Southern Championship Wrestling, which is where I finished a lot of my training by the guy named Chris Black. He's a good mentor and a buddy of mine. I've held I'm the first ever in his company of the Grand Slam champion. Battle Zone Championship Wrestling, I've held the junior heavyweight title at least 8 times. The heavyweight champion there, I was, me and my tag team partner were 5-time champs there.
Nice.
APW was, I was tag team champion there. There's really about the only 3 promotions that I've held belts at. But nice. I mean, I'm not one to complain about holding a belt. I'm more of the person that I want to get the show over.
Exactly, but I gotta imagine that's a hell of a feeling when the match is over and you won and you get to stand there holding that belt in the air, and the crowd's going crazy.
It is, as long as, like I said, but the storyline has to make sense leading up to the point, though. If the storyline doesn't make sense, then there's just no point in it. You might as well cut it early and then start a new storyline.
I agree with that one. I always like when there's the storyline is there's a good story behind what you're watching in the ring. And sometimes don't get me wrong. Sometimes you can just kind of throw a couple guys together that that didn't really make sense, but it works. But the storyline makes it so much better.
Oh yeah, it's always a storyline. Like how I was brought up on that new school, old school line, to where it was always the face chasing the heel for the belt.
Exactly.
And if it's the heel chasing the face, then it's just the storyline's just not going to make sense at all. I mean, you might as well turn that face that's the champion heel and turn the heel into a face, and that way it makes sense.
Right. It's kind of the situation that WWE has right now with Rollins being their face, and then the Fiend is technically a bad guy, I guess, but the fans
But
love him.
the Fiend's doing pretty much like what the old school Undertaker did back in the day, which was play, mind games and attacking here and there, just to lead up to a pay per view to get it over, to get them ticket sales, to get them people watched, which is good,
Dad?
So
I agree. Yeah, he's kind of. I think with him, it's kind of nobody's off limits. Good, bad, face, heel, it don't matter.
yeah.
He's if he wants to come for you, he's going to come for you. Kind of like what Stone Cold was. He. I mean, he was. I guess technically you could say he was a face, but if another face got crossed him, he had no problem going up against them either.
Well, he was a tweener.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I think the Fiend is. He's at he rides the line between the good and evil. That's why the gloves say hurt and heal. Well, Sean, I know it's Sunday morning, and I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but it was good talking with you. I'm glad we was able to get you on here and let people kind of know who you are, and like I said, I'll be sure to look up some of your matches, and I'll get them posted into the Squared Circle group for people to check out your work. And definitely stay in touch with us, through the messengers.
Oh yeah.
Maybe here in the future we can talk with you again.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I enjoyed it. And to be honest with you, it's my first podcast I ever done.
Oh wow! Hey, there you go. Wow. We were your first. Outstanding. Well, and I appreciate it. I want to thank you. You said that you've gone on and you're a subscriber to our show now. So thanks for that, and we hope you continue watching and enjoying it. We're going to do our best to put together an entertaining show for people. We try to we try to mix it up, with a little talking about what's going on and with a little comedy and just have fun with it. So. Glad again. I'm really glad that you were able to be a part of it.
There we go. There I am. There's my screen. My thing went away.
Oh. All right. Well, again, I want to thank you. And is there anything you want to say before to let people know before?
Just to support indie wrestling, because that's.
There you go. Absolutely.
So, but y'all have a good afternoon though on Sunday.
Sean. All right, thanks for talking with us, and we'll keep an eye out for you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, good luck in your upcoming matches.
You too, sir.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.